Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the latest episode of Ear to Ear Podcast with C. Ray and Lanny MO. If you haven't learned yet, or maybe you're new, I am C. Ray, and this lovable guy here on the other side of the screen, this is Lanny MO. Lanny MO, how you doing today, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you doing up here on the mountain?
Oh, man, it's another day in paradise up here. I'm waiting for the snow to come back. I love it. I'm waiting for it. I'm a bit of a weather nerd. Some people know that about me. Some people don't. I like to study the weather for fun. And my extreme amateur prediction is the next 2 weeks. Or no, not the next 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of February and the first week of March going to be pretty cold and snowy, I think. I could go into detail and bore everybody, but I'm not going to. I find it interesting. But winter's not over. I don't care what the groundhog said. So
I was gonna ask, are you like French Lick Freddy now or something? You know?
Oh God, not quite. I need a better nickname than that. We'll come up with something. But rolling into some WVU sports here. Women's basketball, right? The girls still on a heater. The ladies, the women, I should say, still on a heater. Moving to 19-2 this week. Beaten BYU. While the men lost to BYU on the same day at the same time, just on different courts. The women moved to 19-2 as a whole, 8-2 in conference, which puts them third in the conference. And I am just loving it. These girls, they're just killing it. That's all I can say. You know, this new coach has a plan that he's implemented, and it is working wonderfully right now. They finally moved up in the polls. You know, I think the people that vote heard me finally. You know, they've heard me over here in West Virginia complaining my rear end off. Getting a little bit of respect. They moved up to 22 this week. Moved up to 22. Still 17 teams in front of them that have more losses than they do. But a lot of those teams do have, or a few of those teams do have more wins. So not too bad. They are getting a little bit of respect now, which I'm happy about. But I hope they keep it rolling, man. I mean, they're just killing it. That's all there is to it. It's turning out to be a stellar season, and I hope they keep it going.
Talk about respect. Rumor has it that there's no, it's not a rumor, it's truth. That there's a top 40 nationally recruit that has West Virginia in their top 5 to 8. So you're talking, I think they have it ranked as the number 36 best college player coming out of high school next year. That West Virginia is on her list. Kellogg, the way that, I mean, it's attractive. The program that he wants to run as far as up and down the court. Rebound, shoot it, rebound, shoot it, rebound, shoot it. And then we're just going to press you, then relax, then press again, and sub in and out, get that thing rolling. And who wouldn't want to play for that? Where you're going to come get the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, some of these girls are scoring 25 points a game. You know, it's not the same ones. So
Right. That JJ Quinterly girl, I think that's right. Forgive me if she ever hears this and gets mad. I'm sorry. But man, she is a freaking baller, dude. She's had multiple games this year over 25 points. I mean, just, you get the ball in her hands, man, she's going to score. She's like, I don't know, female version of Deshaun Butler when we had him. You know, she just kills it. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy for the women. Keep it rolling, ladies. Keep the stellar season that you guys have started going. Which kind of, you know, we'll roll into men's basketball here. I'm not real sure what to say other than we lost again. BYU taking us down to 8-14. Still not last in the conference, though. That gem of an honor still belongs to Okie Light right now. Oklahoma State Cowboys sitting down there under us by 1. By 1 game. We don't have much of a lead out of the basement, but I'm kind of at a point, man, where it's like,
yeah,
they can still finish 500. They can go on a heater. I think they can lose 2 more and still finish 500, Lance.
Okay.
I mean, it's a heck of a run, but you know, it's probably not going to happen though.
They struggle playing together. I mean, I don't know what it is. You finally got everybody healthy, everybody back, and Slazinski just takes bad shots, and it's like they just I don't know the meshing of it. It's weird. It's very weird.
Right. They're going through the growing pains 2/3 of the way through the season that you would normally go through in your scrimmages and your out of conference schedule. Right. Because as the year has gone on, players have finally trickled into where for the first 3 games ago was the first time the whole season that we've had everybody that was on the roster.
Yeah, 20 games in.
Yeah.
You know,
everybody on the roster available to play. Okay. And when you have that, that's the kind of crap you go through in your out of conference schedule. And, I gave Allard a lot of the benefit of the doubt in the beginning of the year because he was not dealt a fair hand.
me too.
The man come into just a crap bucket of a crap storm of whirlwind, not knowing what we're going to do. Let's throw these guys out here and just hope we win some games is essentially how you approach this season. The only thing that I have learned that I don't like about Allard as the season has gone on is the man has no emotion while he's standing on the sideline. Like this is him the whole time.
Yeah.
He just doesn't, he has no emotion about, and maybe it's because it's the position he's in. That could be it. I don't know, but that's the only thing I don't think I really am a big fan of. I feel bad for the guy because that's not the way you want to come in as a head coach. So I don't know where the program is going to go from here.
I've been saying he needs another year. He needs another year, but some other people's dropped some things on me that they've heard through the grapevine that the rumors are already circling that it's going to be one and done. So we shall see. I'm not throwing it out there that, breaking news or I've heard, but it's getting around a lot more that it's chances are one and done. But I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, everybody, Bob's not coming back. I just
Now, wait a minute. That depends on who you ask.
I know. And if he don't come back, West Virginia's going to lose all their funding from all their donors and all that bullshit that everybody wants to throw out there with that. And they're not going to support nobody but Bob Huggins. And Bob fits WVU. We've went down this windy, long ass road, swerving in and out of traffic up in Pittsburgh. No, it's my fault. We went too far. But it's just you can't bring him back. He's not coming back. I just believe that that's sailed. And the problem is WVU basketball. They're not going to go out there and snatch a top 35 coach. So it's just I just believe that West Virginia is going to be that guy who they go after the Dayton coach or the coach of St. Bonaventure that's on fire, or somebody who's already got a small program that's 100, just like Kellogg where he's 125 and 18, and bring him in and hope. I think that's where we're at. And that's where Beeline was. That's where Beeline was before he came to WVU. He came from Richmond.
Right.
No one knew about Richmond basketball.
The Spiders? Come on.
Yeah.
I agree with you on a lot of fronts there. I was always a supporter of Huggins. I was always a fan. I think some of the things he did for the university and fundraising and state, you can't take that away from him. He did great things.
No.
But at the end of the day, what happened. And something came up on one of the message boards I'm a part of this past week. And it kind of, I didn't get a lot of scrutiny for it, but the point that I made was, what's our big accomplishment really in the last 6 years of Huggins being our coach? I mean, if you look back, and I don't have the note on me because I'm an idiot and didn't bring it down to my space. If you look back, it's like over the, what was it, 2016, 2017, we made it to the Sweet 16, lost to Nova and Gonzaga. Then from 2018 till present, it was a mixture of not making the tournament, getting bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
One year in there somewhere, we didn't even make the tournament. We went to the CBI tournament. And then I think the year after that, we didn't make it. A mixture of really nothing. And the worst part is some of these seasons, like The Stephen F. Austin fiasco is a great example. Fantastic regular. I think we lost less than 10 games that year. Regular season records are nice. Making a deep run in the conference tournament is nice. But at the end of the day, it's about the dance in March. And we tend to not dance very long lately. No. And I think even with this year's team, we've had teams that, in my opinion, have been equally talented for what would have been this year had everything not happened and part of the team left, and then we had to scramble to put together what we could. And we still, the best we ever did was the Final Four. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that. And in that Final Four game, dude, I'm telling you what, we play that game 10 times. We win that game 7 out of 10 times. Listen, and I'm going to tell you why. We're going back into past for a little bit. We lose to Duke, okay? Deshaun went down, and I hate to say this because I was always a huge fan of Deshaun. Got to meet him and kind of hang out with him a couple times in college. Love the guy. But we're probably still losing that game when he went down. We were down like, 12, 13 or something?
You're going to lose. They're going to lose.
But that night of that tournament specifically, that was the night that we shot the worst. We shot the lights out until the Final Four of that tournament. Mm-hmm. Duke shot the ball like crap the entire tournament except that night they played us. You give us that game back again, and I bet we win it the second time around. Duke shot the lights out that night, and it was the only game of the tournament they shot that well, and it was the only game of the tournament we shot that bad. And everyone's like, well, yeah, that's what happens. That's why you lost. Look at the bigger picture of what I'm saying, But anyway, neither here nor there. Huggy's gone. He ain't come back. We haven't accomplished any. We can't raise a trophy for anything in the last 6 or 7 postseasons.
No. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least on whatever happens.
Also, I'm hoping that Ren Baker goes out and hires somebody outside of West Virginia because I know you like your guys, Lanny. I'm not going to say names for the football coach position, but I'm tired of this
Neil Brown?
Sure. Having to be from West Virginia, it has to be a requirement to be a coach at West Virginia University. Like, why?
Not at all. I don't feel that.
No, I know
I don't feel that way.
There's a lot of the fan base that does, though. Yeah. It's like he's a West Virginia boy. Who gives a flying F? If he's a West Virginia boy, he's going to come here and win. Great, but I don't want Jimbo because he's a West Virginia boy. I want Jimbo because in 5 seasons the guy was 20 games above 500 with multiple winning seasons and 3 bowl wins. He won. In the hardest conference, in the hardest division of that conference. And he got his ass fired. And he got fired.
Yeah.
If Neil Brown in his first 5 years would have been 20 games above 500 with 3 bowl wins and multiple winning seasons, hot seat wouldn't have been a thing in anybody's mind in the last 5 years.
No.
But
people were begging. Buddy, people were begging to get his ass out of here at the end of last year. Now he can't do no wrong in a way. And now his expectations, he's got to win his next 25 football games. So it's like, honestly, where we're going with that, it's kind of crazy because West Virginia, we got spoiled. We had that window. It's like they talk about golden ages. Mm-hmm. We're talking like mid 2000s to 15, we was spoiled rotten.
I'd say
with basketball and football.
I'd say to 2018. I would say until Dana left, we were pretty spoiled because we had some good years with Dana. Our last 10-win season was with Dana.
Yeah,
but we're going to try to get off that.
Yeah.
We
didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole.
I don't want to, we don't want to be those guys that repeat the same crap every podcast.
Yeah. If only
I know
they were this close to a national. No, they weren't. Well, we kind of were. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh God. No, we're gonna roll into something here. Something that I am not a very knowledgeable person about, but Lanny MO is our baseball aficionado here at Ear to Ear Podcast.
Love me some baseball.
He does indeed. The only thing I can tell you about WVU baseball is JJ Weatherholt is, killer, and had he, well, I guess he couldn't have gone, right? You told me he couldn't have gone to
No,
the draft because he's not a junior
right.
yet.
He was a sophomore at the end of last year, so he's
Dude,
coming back.
sophomore,
Yeah.
and he would have been a top 5 pick in the MLB draft.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I can tell you. Oh, I can tell you that the stadium got new turf. I do know that.
it looks good. I drove by that Joker the other night. It looked good. It looked
Yeah.
really, really good. It's the state. They outlined the state, filled in with blue with the gold WV in it, and I'm telling you what, the blue pops. I mean, on that green, and with the outline of the state, it looks amazing. I about got myself a ticket to by the city of Granville, but yeah, it was it looks really, really good, really, really good.
Well, let's roll into that, Lanny. Let's talk a little bit of baseball, man. That's kind of your forte. Tell me what you think of this year and what's going to happen here.
Well, with lots of movement going on with the baseball team, as far as, I mean, not just on the team. You got Maisie, who this is going to be his 13th year, and he's pretty much stepping down for family reasons. He's still going to be an advisor with the team, and going into a different role. A guy that he pretty much hired will be taking over. Sabis, what is his name? Let me get this right. Steve Sabins. He coached at Oklahoma State, so he's staying. You know what I'm saying, Big 12. He brought him in. This is his 9th year that he's been with WVU, so he will be the head guy. Coming in next year. What West Virginia has really lost is pitching. Their pitching has really, really moved on, really, and it sucks because it was transfers within the conference.
Well, yeah, they had like 3 guys or something like that transferred.
Yeah,
right?
and I mean, they're talking. It was like guys in the rotation transferred out.
So guys that were playing.
Yeah, guys that were playing transferred. Graduation hit them a little hard, but if anything, this coaching staff, man, it just seems like they can coach, they teach pitching. So I'm not too worried about it. They're going to be young. They're going to be young, and pitching always it's always a growth, and you'll have a kid who sometimes never really they're like a reserve, and next thing you know they're starting, and so with that there, but Weatherholt is playing for the number 1 draft pick overall. I mean, he's going to be I can't see him batting less than 400. I think last year he was clear up to like 445 or something.
Now, I do remember something like that last year because honestly, last year was I watched 9 or 10 baseball games last year, and that's the most WVU baseball games. I went to some as a student, because just you're a student, I wanted to go to all the games that I could. I went to soccer games, I went to all kinds of crap as a student. So I did watch a little bit, but I didn't really get invested. Last year, I think, was the first time I really invested any energy in watching the team last year. So I remember watching him and thinking they at one point they showed his batting average. I think it was like 450 or something right around that. And I was like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Like that's good.
Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. And that's what, but he's switching positions. He's going from second base to shortstop because that's what basically all the pro scouts is like, we see him. I guess the boy has a cannon, an absolute cannon for an arm. And they're like, you're wasting him on that side of the field. Plus, West Virginia had a very, very good shortstop last year. So what they'll do is they'll move him there. That boy moved on. So they'll have it's just rotation wise and seeing things from that side of the field. And and the thing they see it, if you can play shortstop at a high level, guess what? You can play third, you can play second, you can play, so it's just showing his mobility defensively.
So really so this was they're moving him to shortstop, or he's moving to shortstop.
Yeah.
He plays this at a high level this year, then that really, really goes well for his draft stock.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. His draft stocks are going through the roof to begin with. But led the nation in batting average. He's fast, steals bases, but that's another thing I want to hit on with Maisie, the way he coaches, the way that he runs his schematics with baseball. dude, the guys on first base and they're stealing. They're on second. He's not afraid to make that catcher try to throw you out at third base with 2 outs, and he puts pressure on the defense as far as to bunt, to make that first baseman move, to make the third base move, to make everybody, because just bad on ball instantly makes the defense play defense,
Right.
and you make a guy run, have to pick it up, have to throw you out. It's you're making them have to make plays, and that's part of what Mazey's one of his big things are. It's they play small ball, hit and run, and it's fun. W baseball's kind of, I'm saying they're fun to watch with all the movement that goes on. So it's going to be interesting. This year, I mean, I think they made it high as 6th last year, nationally ranked, and then they just went toward the end of the year. They fell off. Basically had a homestand with Texas. You win 1 out of the 3, you win the Big 12 and got swept.
That I remember. I did watch that series.
And that's what we remember as far as they did what West Virginia, everything else that West Virginia does,
Even the baseball team is not immune to the second half breakdown.
But they finished they finished the year 40-20, best season W ever had in baseball. And but it's one of those, man, it's always just nice to say that, man, we won. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of like, oh, we had a 3-way split, because that's what they did. They had a 3-way split with Texas and Oklahoma State, but we'll see. We'll see what goes down. And their first game is February 16th, and the first home game is March 5th. So hopefully they roll out some crazy shenanigans like dollar beers, two for $5 hot dogs or something, and
$2 wieners.
Oh, dude, that's when it gets fun. That's when it gets fun, interesting. They have like bring your dog to the game day. They have kids run the bases after the game. It's fun, So that, that's incorporate some things like that into it, and it makes it a good night out. Me and my broke ass friends, we grab a 30-pack from Walmart, set up on the top up by the WU building in lawn chairs, and just raise hell, drink beer. And the only thing they don't do is set off fireworks when somebody hits a damn home run or something. But yeah, it's just, and nobody really even says anything. But I'm just like, they tease me like, you're actually going in? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sit in the stadium, and I look up and those fools are up on the bank. But it brings excitement. It brings excitement to Morgantown and baseball. I mean, when has anybody ever really talked about baseball, WVU?
Yeah.
So it's an evening out, really. So,
well, and I kind of look. I think the last episode I mentioned the Power Park down here. What was the Power Park?
Toast.
Toast Man. Yeah, I told y'all about Toast Man last time. Yeah. But it's the same thing. They got bring your dog to the park day. They do it in the summertime. They do it every Friday. And, my giant Great Dane, I'm like, I'd love to take her, but she loves everything and everyone. And if she gets on the field, it'll be a mess. But yeah, it's done. But yes, I think this year I'm actually going to get invested a little bit in the baseball team. I've kind of come around to the lower levels of baseball a lot more since we moved here, and I got involved with the minor league team down here. So I might even try to come up for a few games this year. So maybe I'll go up there. Hey, let's go up there on the hill and drink some beer and eat some wings. Shoot some. We'll bring sparklers.
It just sucks that baseball's boring. I mean, it is.
I know.
Is. And that's why I think I thrived at baseball, because I only had to pay attention in like 10-second increments. So
you already told us a few episodes ago you don't read. So
no, I'm not a very good reader. So
oh God. Well, that's good then. Let's I hope they have another year like last year. I'm going to get invested and watch a lot more this year, so I'm excited to see what happens. But Lanny, I got something fun here I want to talk about.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of, and just so you guys out there know, I didn't tell Lanny about this. This is a surprise. I want to get his thoughts on it.
I love it. I already love it.
Some big news this year or this week in college football. I'm sure he knows where I'm going with this. The Big 10 and the SEC, they're like they're like Wayne and Garth out there fighting to make the dream happen right now, aren't they? I mean, that's what I see right now is these, they're out there trying to make it happen, make the dream work. And so I know you've heard about this. You saw it this week. What's your first thoughts when you see this?
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen this?
No.
We're going to break some news to Lanny, everybody.
No, because I'm telling you, I've been immersed in my own little village.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Listen, man, I'm going to have to call some of them guys up there. I'm going to have to call your boss and tell him he needs to loosen the reins a little bit. Listen, so the Big 10 and the SEC this week got together and created their own board of advisors to solve the problems that are facing college football and college sports.
Okay.
Just these two conferences. They didn't call Big 12 or ACC or, well, I don't think the Pac-12 is really a conference anymore, so we're just not even going to mention them. Obviously, they didn't call any of the G5, nothing. These two conferences got together, created this board of people. It's made up of chancellors, ADs, coaches, university presidents. And the whole idea of this is to tackle the issues that are facing the college sports landscape. All right. So I'm going to talk about it for a minute. You mull on some of this stuff I'm going to say. We're going to get your thoughts on this. Here's my problem with this. First off, they come out and they publicly say, well, the reason we're doing this is because we want to tackle these problems that our athletes are facing and that our teams are facing. You're full of crap. If they cared about tackling the issues of college sports, they wouldn't have had a little closet meeting between the two of them and not involved anybody else in the country. There's how many D1 teams in this nation? D1, we're not even talking about lower levels. Let's just go D1, G5 and Power 5 is what, 130, 140 teams?
I think it was 128.
Oh, I thought it was a little more than that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, really.
None of them outside of the Big 10 and the SEC are going to be involved in this. So it's their own little advisory board. They're full of crap. They don't care about tackling what this is the beginning of a Power 2 conference, okay? You watch. They're going to end up trying to break away. Excuse me. And I am calling it the middle of the end of college sports. The beginning of the end of college sports was the freaking wild, wild west of NIL and transfer portals. All right. No governance over this NIL crap. I've always said that I'm a big fan of the kids getting cuts of the checks for money that they are bringing into the university. I'm all for that. But not having any rules like it's been for the last couple of years, we've seen what it's already done to the sports. Not just football, basketball. It's kind of seeping into baseball and the smaller sports now. We've seen what it's done and what it's going to do. This right here is kind of the middle, all right? This is where the two biggest conferences right now are going to get together, and they're going to kind of make their own little thing here to where they're the only ones that matter, and the rest of us are going to get screwed.
So what are they trying to do? I mean, what are they trying to change? Because if I'm West Virginia or if I'm, Texas Tech, like, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? You can implement whatever you're trying to do on your own. You didn't invite us to the party. So guess what? I'm not buying no beer,
Well, I mean, and that's kind of one of the ways I was going with this was if they want to get together and make their own thing, then you do that.
Yeah.
You have your own deal. You leave the rest of us alone. We're not playing you. We're not scheduling you. You're not scheduling us. We're not going, the rest of us on the outside of this window, we're not going to be the punching bags for the SEC and the Big Ten's out of conference schedule, and then they go and play each other for all the glory. Screw it. Y'all play each other 12 games a year. Y'all do your own thing. The problem I have with that, though, is how is this going to affect what the rest of the universities can accomplish? Money-wise, athlete-wise, championship-wise. Because I'm telling you right now, they can expand it to 20 teams. They can expand it to 64 teams like the freaking Big Dance in March if they want to. It's still going to be all about, the SEC and the Big Ten, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to look at who's winning stuff. Those are the ones who's winning.
Well, yeah.
So, I don't know. That's
the other issue I have here is, let's say hypothetically these they do get together and they do come up with the solutions, that can get rid of the problems that we're seeing. They haven't really specified what problems that is. A lot of it comes around antitrust laws and NCAA kind of overreaching into with the NIL rules that they're trying to implement and everything. Which, sorry, NCAA, you're a little late to that party. If you were going to implement rules, you should have did it when you let this crap out of the bag, not 2 years after when it's already taken its toll. But even if they do find the solutions for what that they're looking for, what's that mean for the rest of us? If they're going to create their own little thing here, well, do those rules are only going to apply to SEC and Big 10 schools while they're playing each other? Or, how's it going to work? I think it's going to be a crap show. I think it's the beginning of a Power 2 era. And the big question I have is, does West Virginia get a seat at that table?
No. Hell no. We couldn't get a seat at the table whenever the Big East was dismantling. We couldn't. The ACC wouldn't even give us a smell, and we were very, very fortunate that the Big 12 was doing their thing, because we almost, people don't realize we can bitch and we can complain all we want to about being in the Big 12. We're damn lucky that we got in the Big 12.
Well, we'd be in a G5 league right now if we weren't.
Absolutely.
If we wouldn't have gotten to the Big 12.
We'd been playing Memphis. We'd been playing Marshall. That's how close we were, to Cincinnati, to being Cincinnati. That's how close everything was.
I think a lot of people lose sight of that too. Where we were headed as the Big East started to dissolve. And Pitt got out and got to the ACC. My favorite part was, and people that know me know that for a good amount of my sports loving life until the Big East fell apart, I was a UNC basketball fan. And not just because it was a bandwagon thing. I liked Roy Williams and I liked the way he coached and I liked the program he had. I thought Roy Williams was a great basketball coach. So I was a UNC fan until we're trying to get into the ACC, and the UNC says, well, they're not academically advanced enough to join this conference. And then it comes out so many years later that freaking UNC's handing out degrees for athletes, so they don't have to get the hell out of here with that,
But they had athletes that could not find the classrooms on campus. Like, I'm being dead serious. I am being dead serious. That they had athletes that said, where's the chemistry department, or where's this, or where's that? And they go,
it's the 13th week of the semester. How do you not know this?
They didn't know. They did not know where the class areas were.
Right.
That's pretty damn bad.
But yet WVU, the school that busted Volkswagen for screwing the world on diesel engines, WVU wasn't academically advanced enough to join that conference. Yeah. Still bugs the crap out of me. And to this day, I have not. The only time I've ever watched a UNC anything was in the big dance. That's it. I haven't worn. I used to have a hoodie I used to wear all the time. I stripped them of my life. WVU will always be first for this guy. No matter what other school, but I just
love that. Leaving the bowl game down there. there are 37 fans that showed up.
God, I wish I could have been there.
I didn't talk smack. I'm just walking back to the hotel, and they openly are like, well, we're a basketball school. We're basketball. I'm like, now you want to preach that? I'm like, come on now. Don't throw, I'm saying, you're embarrassing yourself with your own mouth. It's just, like,
listen, take it. You got your ass beat. Just take it and go home.
Just take your L. You all just go. Hell, drive home. You got 45-minute drive home. You're playing in Charlotte, but it's still one of those things where it's like West Virginia should have been in the ACC years and years and years ago. And I don't know what. I really have no idea why. What reasoning? After I'm thinking after the Atlantic 10 days, West Virginia should have been in it. But I'm saying before going into really the Big East.
Right.
Should have been the ACC. And then I was begging because I didn't want to know ACC. I didn't want to play in the ACC because I think they're bums. I wanted, whenever West Virginia was searching, I was begging for us to go to Big Ten, and I can't stand the fact that they took Maryland and sorry ass Boston College, and they talk about revenue splitting Rutgers,
Dude,
and they talk.
You got teams that are sitting on the bottom of the Big Ten.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, we're good with this. We got all the money that we need. We're good with being down here.
Well, they're talking. They're like, well, Rutgers has New York market. Who in the hell's living up in there watching Rutgers play, or Boston College? I mean, let's be real. I mean, West Virginia, we do not have that big market. I totally understand it. But you know what? When you put us on TV, everybody's watching. The nation is watching when West Virginia plays on TV. Basketball, soccer, football, baseball, it don't matter. When West Virginia's on TV, dude, the viewership goes absolutely through the roof. And they can't deny it. The numbers speak for themselves when they do the rankings and who watched, Right. But it's like, you got to be absolutely shitting me. It's like ESPN Plus. I guarantee you that there's a little niche that their subscriptions had to go through the roof whenever West Virginians had to, buy the damn ESPN. I'm saying to buy to buy the subscription plans,
just to watch West Virginia play.
Yeah. So I don't know what. It's just a crapshoot, and it's these little meetings like, come over here, let's talk.
And that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah. And next thing you know, it gets out, and it's like, who said something about this or what's going on with that? And we're not being sneaky. Well, what the hell are you doing? You're having meetings behind others. It's just a shit show, man.
Yeah.
And I have no clue what's going to, the college landscape is a disaster, and it's just going to continue to be. I have no idea what they do.
I've said it for quite a while that you divide the country north to south in half. You divide the country east and west in half, and you got 4 super conferences. And anybody that, in my opinion, I would say Power 5 schools, that's your conferences. Northeast, Northwest, Southwest, Southeast. Play it. And by the end of the year, you play your 12 games, and then the top 4 from each conference, that's how the playoffs start. And you run a results-driven, like the NFL, a results-driven. You finished in the top 4. You're going into the playoffs to play your to see who's going to win the conference, and then the conference winners play on East and West play each other, and then those 2 winners come to the middle for the college Super Bowl. Be done with it. That's it.
Well, I'm telling you what, it's going to get interesting. For one, my favorite time of year is coming as far as sports-wise. I love the NCAA tournament. The big dance, there's nothing like it. It just sucks. After the first week, you got like little gaps,
Yeah. After that first weekend,
you get those little gaps, and you know what I'm saying. But man, I'm seriously thinking about just taking the first couple of days off the NCAA tournament and just having a thing at my house, and just lock myself in, turn both TVs on, and have game. Just and putting a note for my wife at the top of the steps, like "Do not disturb," and
put a little metal slide down the steps so she can slide you dinner.
Pizza.
Pizza box. One pizza.
Pizza box. Just cut it, a slot in the door. And, dude, basketball's on from like 10 in the morning to like 2 in the morning. It's insane. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
I do too.
And I can't wait till football goes 16. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to go to 12 this year. And then they're talking up to 16 teams.
Oh, man,
because you're going to see football, though, just like, I don't know if it's going to happen. What's the really chances of what really the chances are that it's going to go from that you're going to have a 16. Let's just say like 16 team football would probably be I don't know who'd be a 16 seed in football. It'd be number 16 in the nation. So that'd be interesting though.
Yeah,
to see the number 16 team play number 1, or with 12 you're going to have the number 1 goes and get a bye. But it's where it's coming to, and it's going to be awesome whenever it does. My thing is the conferences are such a shit show. You don't know what you're going to get conference wise.
Well, I guess the only thing to do is wait it out. I don't like this Big 10 SEC thing, but well, what the hell do I know, man? I'm not on ESPN making millions of dollars to say this crap. So,
I'm with you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think
I'm
that's
with
going
you.
to do it for this week. We're going to wrap it up here and put another episode in the books. Thank you guys, all you guys out there listening. We appreciate it. All you guys that we interact with on Twitter, come at us on Twitter. Tell us what you think. Tell us, or in the comments, whatever.
Comment on. Yeah, I'm saying. I think we had a couple comments actually on one of our on our last video. I think if I remember right. But yeah, comment. Tell us what you think. What you want to talk about. Anything you know. We are up for suggestions. It's starting to get to be that time of year where. Hate to say it, but sports will be pretty much slowing way down for a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, hit us up on Twitter. Well, shit, the X and
Twitter X. I'm gonna start calling it Twitter X.
Twitter X.
Oh, I think Lanny's having some oh man, he's having some technical difficulties here. Well, that ain't no good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's going to be it. I guess that's going to be it for this episode. We'll get Lanny's technical difficulties fixed before next week. Sorry about that. Everybody have a good week. We love all you guys that are listening. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We hope everybody has a good week and hope we kept you smiling from ear to ear.